Hello and welcome. My name is Kyle Nielsen, and this is How You Level Up, a podcast where I ask questions to help you become your best self. Today we ask, what is propaganda? In the grand course of human civilization, one concept has reared its powerful head time and time again: propaganda. It is not a modern phenomenon, nor was it invented in the 20th century as some may believe. Its roots reach far back into history, as far back as ancient Rome, and even further. Yet its formal introduction into the mainstream consciousness occurred during the years of World War I. This was the period when propaganda truly flexed its muscles, presenting itself not only as a tool for war, also as a fundamental tool for shaping societies. During the Great War, World War I, when nations on both sides took full advantage of mass media, they harnessed its persuasive power to mobilize millions. These different nations created grand narratives of heroism, villainy, and patriotism. These narratives were designed to shift public opinion and spur the masses to action. Since then, this tool of propaganda, once associated exclusively with war, has permeated various facets of our life, from public relations to politics to science, art, and education. In the field of public relations, propaganda has taken center stage. Public relations, or PR, at its heart, is the organized dissemination of information, aiming to manage and sway public perception. This is propaganda. Today, corporations and organizations use subtle forms of propaganda, via advertising and public statements, to build brands, cultivate loyalty with their customers, and manage crises. Politics has been nigh inseparable from propaganda throughout history. Whether fostering nationalism, promoting policies, or discrediting opponents, propaganda has been a steadfast companion of political campaigns. The Daisy advertisement from the 1964 U.S. presidential election is a clear testament to the power of political propaganda. This advertisement, often called Daisy Girl, was designated to broadcast Lyndon B. Johnson's anti-war and anti-nuclear positions against the Republican Party's candidate, Barry Goldwater. It introduced a fear of nuclear war to sway voters, and it showcased how artfully curated messages could influence an entire nation. Science and art, seemingly immune to propaganda's manipulations, have in reality been equally influenced. Scientific propaganda often comes in the form of pseudoscience, using selective data and biased interpretations to advance a certain narrative. The tobacco industry's attempts in the 20th century to downplay the risks of smoking provide a striking example. Newspapers, billboards, radio, and television all ran advertisements on the benefits of smoking cigarettes, even putting doctors in those advertisements, while cigarette manufacturers knew the health risks of smoking. Art, on the other hand, has long been used as a vessel for propaganda, carrying messages that align with specific agendas. Soviet constructivism, Nazi art, and even the American pop art movement of the mid-20th century each used aesthetics to promote a certain worldview. Movies released during wartime often instill national pride for the home country as they beat the spy from the opposing country. And lest we forget about education, you'll often find propaganda in educational institutions to teach political ideologies and shape the thought patterns of future generations. In authoritarian regimes, history textbooks are often skewed to present a favorable viewing of the ruling party, like the historical textbooks that I read as a kid, which said nothing of the genocide of the native people, or the history textbooks in China, which say nothing of Tiananmen Square. Every nation is at fault for this in some manner. No one nation doesn't turn a blind eye to its own atrocities. Education can subtly enforce the existing social order through its curriculum. This is propaganda. The influence of propaganda is pervasive and profound, shaping societies and minds often without anyone realizing. As responsible individuals, we must recognize it, understand its workings, and challenge it when it distorts the truth. After all, the aim of propaganda is to simplify complex issues and influence our decision-making process. It taps into our heuristics and inherent bias. It is our responsibility to strive to retain our critical thinking abilities and question the narratives presented to us. Propaganda, then, for a working definition, is a form of communication used to influence people's attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors towards a particular ideology, cause, or position. Propaganda operates by employing various techniques, including, but not limited to, emotional appeals, demonization of the enemy, half-truths, and lies. These are all aimed at manipulating opinion and perception. While the information disseminated through propaganda might not necessarily be false, it also involves the selective presentation or exaggeration of facts. It's crucial to understand that propaganda, due to its manipulative nature, can be both positive and negative in its impact on society. For instance, propaganda can help in spreading awareness about public health initiatives or environmental issues, like when a smaller organization starts to spread their own propaganda about the dangers of smoking cigarettes. This is propaganda too, though it ends up being a good thing because then we all begin to see the harm of smoking cigarettes. Of course, on the other hand, it can also be used to spread fear, hate, and misinformation. So, what is the most recent thing that you can name as a piece of propaganda? What did the message want you to believe? And what did you think after hearing or seeing this message? Thank you for listening to another episode. If you're enjoying the show, open up the app you're listening to this on and hit the like or subscribe button and give a 5-star rating. At least twice a week, you'll find a new episode asking you a new question, so you can strengthen your emotional independence, improve your communication skills, and upgrade your personal philosophy. So if there's a question you'd like me to dive into next, send it to any of these social media accounts connected in the show notes here. This is all about how you level up.